go. Assalamualaikum class. So we're back at it again. I hope that you and your family are safe and sound and that no one's sick or not feeling well. This is the second time we've done class at home, and we're going to talk about something that is related to the topics that we talked about before. Okay? So, we talked about extinct animals, or we talked about history. History, this is going to be about history. This is objects, items, jobs of the past. Objects, items are the same thing. I just wanted to put two different words for you. Objects, items. Same with extinct animals. These are items that no longer exist. I'm going to show you those objects, some objects today. I have 1, 2, 3 objects today that I want to show you. But first, I want to write down some vocabulary that you both might need. You all might need. So, and I'm going to tell you their past objects. These are the first one we're going to do is objects and items. Okay? So objects, items. Those are words that you should know and learn. So the objects today, I'm going to show one is CD. CD/CD player. I'm going to show you. So first, I'm wondering how many of you have a CD player or a CD. Yes, you might think that the PS4 games or the PS3 games are CDs. They are not. They are for games. CDs we're talking about are for music. So we're talking about CD players. These specifically only play CDs, not anything of more of the future. So CD player and a CD. I'm going to show you right now that a question that we're going to answer for each object. When was blank created or invented? So this when I'm going to come show you. When objects, items, jobs of the past. Okay, so we know that. Items, objects. First object, number 1, CD and CD player. Okay, I'm going to show you like this so you guys can see it. And then I'm going to show you the question. When was blank created, invented? This is the question that we need to ask ourselves. And some of the answers I will show you. But this is the question, key questions that we're asking about past objects. Past jobs, it's different question. So we won't even talk about it when they're created. We'll just talk about jobs a different way. So, when was it created? I'm going to also put some more objects for you to see first. Before I show you some of the objects I have, I'm going to write down what I have. It's called radio. Yes, radio in your car, different. I'm going with a different radio. So there is a radio in your car. So if you were going to ask that question, yes, there's a radio in a car. When was that invented? And / walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie. Okay? So the CD was invented in 1982. So that's how you answer it. The CD was invented in 1982. We're not going to care where, when, whatever. We're just asking when was it invented, or when was it invented? The CD player, CD, was invented in 1982. So this is maybe you haven't seen one. I'm going to show you a CD. So maybe you have. This is why it's a recent. You can see this is the cover. And I mean, yes, they do still sell CDs, but not many people use them anymore. Sure, you've never seen. I'm sure you've barely used one of these for music. Maybe for game, but not for music. This is getting old. If you're talking about extinct animals, this is endangered animals. This is endangered animal. If you're talking about history, this is pretty old. 30 years or 40 years, around that time. And then the radio. Now that's even further back. Now the radio was invented this is crazy. This is a really old, 1888. This is the radio. The walkie-talkie was invented around that time. This is something of a hybrid of those two. So walkie-talkie, you can hear what it's. Actually, I think this is just a radio. So this is a radio, and you can like play it. We still use radios today, but it's still radio. You don't use these kind of radios anymore. This is the one I was talking about. This kind of radio. Oh, the watch. I got it right. The watch. This, I mean, you still see it today. You still see this today. Still use it today on your wrist. But, I mean, I've got a phone. I don't need to use a watch. So this one, watch. A watch. This was created. This is a wristwatch. So, 1868. Very old. I mean, I'm sure your dad, your grandpa, your great-grandpa, all of them have had this one, something like this. It's for your wrist. There used to be older watches, but this is going to be coming just for style. It's also becoming, it's not endangered, but it's still something that's old. I don't know if you use a watch, maybe an Apple Watch, but it's still an old school thing. So it's objects, they're past objects. They might one day go away. And then this kind of phone, if you've ever seen it, I gotta show you real quick. You go dial it in. It's very different. The telephone, that was in the 1800s as well. I won't write that one down. That was 1800s. I'm gonna keep mentioning different ones. VHS tape. VHS. This is definitely gone. This one's definitely gone, and it's not used anymore, and it was created 1976. This one no longer exists, really. You can ask maybe your dad is a collector, your mom. And I used to watch them. Now you know I'm older, so I'm going to show you again. If you can't see it, hopefully you can. And here you go. So these are some of the objects I want to talk about. Those are the objects, how to use them now. I'm going to talk about how to use them. How to use a video. Well, you use a VCR, they call VCR. It goes with a VCR, and you pop it in there, and it plays a movie for you, or you're recording. Simple. Radio, I take this. You've used the radio in your car all the time. And you go FM or AM. FM for music, AM for talking, and then you turn it on. It doesn't. This one does no longer work, but you like change it. So, and it's kind of a walkie-talkie. So I think it is walkie-talkie. But yeah. And then this kind of telephone, yeah, You just dial. There's other ones that are older. Telephones have been around for a long time. This kind is 80s, 1980s. So this, we ask ourselves, when was it created? When was CD player, radio, watch, VHS created? When was that created? We want to ask our parents, what did you enjoy when you were little? What did you have when you were little? You want to have a conversation with them. What do you miss? What do you miss from the past? What do you miss from the past? This is called nostalgia. I won't put that as a word, but that's something you should look up. Nostalgia. And yeah, so that's what we're talking about with this. And now I want to get to something that's definitely different. There's jobs. Jobs that are almost endangered. History shows past jobs that you have. These are mostly no longer existing. So this is where you're going to ask your parents a question. Did you do any of these jobs? Did you do any of these jobs? So, I'm gonna mention some here. You can ask your parents, did you do any of these jobs? Like, first, one of the most interesting jobs I'm gonna show you guys is chimney. I don't expect some of you to have parents who've done this. So, chimney sweep. And I'll explain right now, what does that do? So, chimney sweep. I want to put that up. I want to put this here and show you. Chimney sweep. Hopefully you can see it. So, what a chimney sweep does is you'll see a house. You'll see a house with a big brick like this. Big brick. Chimney. What they call a chimney. It goes up. You won't have it in Indonesia, and then they go down and clean with a brush. They use an object to clean like a broom, like to sweep the chimney of dust from fire that they made for the winter. Okay. Next one, ice cutter. Ice cutter, I don't think so. Maybe your grandpa did these jobs. Ice cutter, they cut the ice in a little square, and we didn't have refrigerators. We didn't have anything to put our cold stuff in. So we did that instead. We had to use ice. So they'd cut ice from things like that. They had a milkman. Now what does a milkman do? That's what you could ask. What does a milkman do, Dad or Mom or Grandpa or Grandma or anyone? A milkman delivers milk, just like sari roti, just like bubur ayam, but no longer exist. They were in the 1950s, and they were delivering milk. So they are pretty much extinct. Not many people deliver milk anymore. It could come back, who knows? These are stuff that, let's see, chimney sweep. We have human clock. Probably these are old. Some of these are very old. Human clock. Human clock alarm. So this human clock alarm would move the clock, or they would wake you up. Bam, bam, on hit your window. That's what they would do. Yeah, so they would hit on the window. There would be for kids, here's something that if you've ever been bowling, where they go like this. They blow, and they blow up, and they go. The pin setter. Pin setter. You're gonna ask your parents about these. Pin setter. Pin setter. This is something where you set the pins down. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you set them down. Each time someone rolls the ball, it hits it. It's a game. And you're doing the pins. You're putting the pins down. And lamplighter. Sure, no one. These are all old school jobs. I don't expect any of your parents, maybe not even your grandparents, to have seen a lamplighter. Lamplighter, used to be no lights. So they would light the lamp with a fire. Yeah, so that would be how it is with some of these jobs. So as you can see, chimney sweep, ice cutter, milkman, human clock alarm, pin setter, lamplighter. These are some of the jobs that you would do. These gone extinct because no one needs them anymore. And yeah, this is what we're talking about. So the question, did you do any of these jobs for your parents? I want you to find out some of these on your own with your parents. And I want you to find interesting jobs I didn't mention here. I haven't mentioned. There's so many. And there's so many items that you can look up. There's some nice, cool videos that show little kids playing with objects, seeing the same objects I am. Okay? So, and there's other questions on your Google Classroom if that's what you're using. Or I will have some questions for you. So, alright. I'm happy for you to join me. I hope that I've educated you and we've talked about this. You're going to do some conversation with your parents about this stuff and ask them about nostalgia. Again, there's that word, nostalgia. I'll write it in your questions. Okay, I'll write it in there. But nostalgia means you're missing the past. What are they missing about the past? Okay, all right. So thank you very much. These are either just history, knowing about more history, or for those who did extinction. These are jobs that don't exist, or items that kind of exist but not used very often. And there's more that I wish I could talk about in a longer video, but it has to be today how it is. So, last time you get to see the board. And then after this, we will have assignment online. Thank you very much. And Assalamualaikum. And have a good day or night or whenever you start to see this video. Thank you very much. Bye.